Let me call to order the June 23rd meeting of the Albany County Legislature's Public Works and Security Council.
Sure. Ricard.
Present.
Mayo.
Here.
Cleary.
Here.
Fine. Andrew Joyce.
Here.
Reinhardt.
Here.
Whalen.
Here.
Bergdorf.
Here.
And Smith. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Security Council Kennedy. First item on the agenda is to take the last month's minutes. Did everyone have an opportunity to read them? Just want to make the motion. Mr. Mayo, second by Mr. Bergdorf. All those in favor? Opposed? The item carries unanimously.
Item 2 is authorizing the acceptance of New York State Consolidated Highway Improvement Program funding for county road maintenance and repair and amending the 2025 Department of Public Works budget. Commissioner Raimondo is here this evening.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. So this is, I'm requesting approval to amend our budget to accept the additional CHIPS funding for the 2025-26 fiscal year. Each year, we're awarded approximately $5 million in CHIPS monies. Most of it goes toward paving our roadways. Sometimes we purchase equipment with our CHIPS. We've purchased a salt shed with CHIPS money. So it's very versatile when it comes to highway purchases and repairs.
Do any of the legislators have any questions on this item?
How much more do we get this year, Lisa?
We got several $100,000 more.
That's the true up?
Yes,
From-
but, well, no, so if you're asking about the rollover?
Yeah.
So we were awarded, I can tell you exactly. So we were awarded $5.036 million,
Yeah.
and we're accepting $8.088 million. So we have a rollover of about $3 million. About $1 million of that is already spent because it goes to pay off our retainage for last year's hauling and placing and several vehicle purchases that we made. So we actually have like an excess of about $2 million that won't be spent on this year's hauling and placing. We could potentially use that $2 million if an emergency situation ever came about and we had to do like an emergency culvert or bridge repair. We could also opt to potentially use it now for paying for recycling our roadways rather than using capital funding for it. So we don't like to spend it all the way down, just so that we have a bit of an emergency fund.
Great.
Thank you. Is there any other questions on this
Make a
item?
motion to approve.
Mr. Cleary makes a motion, second by Mr. Bergdorf. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The item carries unanimously. Please read the third item.
Item 3 is authorizing an agreement with Stevenson Equipment regarding the purchase of a Levoy 8608 paver.
Yep. So this paver will replace our 2004 paver. It will be much more useful than our existing paver because it's on tracks. The existing paver is on wheels, which makes it hard for us to pave what we are typically paving in-house, which are parking lots and roadways and recreation facilities that are on gravel. Pavers on wheels tend to dig into the gravel and aren't effective. So we're going to be auctioning off the existing paver and purchasing this new one.
Thank you. Do any of the legislators have any questions on this item? Someone like to make a motion? Mr. Cleary makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Bergdorf seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Item carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item 4 is amending
Thank you.
resolution number 61 for 2025 regarding the purchase of primary clarifier components. Executive Director Gaudio is here this evening.
Thank you. Back in March, we received approval to buy primary clarifier parts from Brentwood Industries. We had planned on replacing 2 full tanks out of the 4 primary clarifiers we had. Unfortunately, back in May with the wet weather, we had damage to the other 2 that weren't programmed for any repair work this year. So we're looking to amend the agreement with Brentwood Industries to purchase an additional $210,000 worth of components from them, making the final amount $420,000 with Brentwood.
Thank you. Could you just clarify for the record exactly what that component is, in layman's terms?
So primary clarifiers are one of our initial separation steps. It's basically a gravity separating system where we basically take out our organics, and within the tanks, and we have large tanks, there's what's called a chain and flight system. So you have these large chains and these like the horizontal members that basically take all the material on the scum, they push it to one side of the tank, and then the sludge that's at the bottom gets pushed to another side.
Okay.
So you basically have these giant sprockets and these long flights of chains. So we were looking to replace all those internal components. And again, we were planning on doing 2 tanks this year of the 4, and then unfortunately, with all the wet weather in May, we got inundated. And the other 2 tanks had issues as well, so we're just looking to do all the internal work now.
All right, thank you. Do any of the legislators have any questions on this item? Someone like to make a motion on it? Mr. Cleary, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, carries unanimously.
Item 5 is amending the 2025 Water Purification District budget for equipment repair.
Yeah, so this would be a budget amendment to account for the $210,000 for the additional equipment. We are requesting a movement or a transfer of $210,000 from the district's fund balance to the equipment repair line, which is G8130-44070. And again, that would just accommodate or allow us to move forward with the purchase of the additional components.
Thank you. Someone like to make a motion on this item? Mr. Burdick, second. Second by Mr. Joyce. All those in favor? Opposed? And carries unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Item 6 is authorizing an agreement with the Town of Bern and MVP Healthcare regarding the construction of a fitness court in the Town of Bern. Cam Fagan from the Executive Office is here tonight.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Chairman. This is a request for legislative authorization to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between Albany County, the Town of Bern, and MVP Healthcare. We'd be utilizing about $195,000 of the Innovation Partnership Fund in order to build a fitness court in the Town of Bern's Town Park. We have done something similar to this in the Tower Center Park of the Town of Gilderland, which is why you'll see the previous resolution here in the back of the packet. So we are looking to spread the wealth, so to speak, to the hill towns to build something that's going to be good for the health and wellness of the people of Bern.
Thank you. Any legislators have any questions on this item? Someone like to make a motion? Do you have a question?
You said just now $195,000. I didn't see any dollars in the paperwork back. Is this, well, I guess two questions. One is, what is the co-funding that the Town of Bern is offering, whether it's cash, labor, whatever? And also, how often might this happen in other communities?
Okay.
Tower Center was, I guess, the first? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so Tower Center was the first county-sponsored, specifically, fitness court. We have explored putting these fitness courts in other locations. It kind of typically depends on the willingness of the local municipality, if they have some place in mind. Usually MVP is looking for, MVP Healthcare that is looking for a specific location that is sort of, a park of some kind that gets a lot of foot traffic. So we, explore the option of the rail trail perhaps.
Well, on that topic, is this the same program where they put something next to Veterans Park on the rail trail off of Hudson? Are you familiar with that, where there's a chin-up bar and a few other pieces of equipment?
In Del Mar? No, that is workout equipment, but that's not specifically the fitness court. But yeah, the county did put those pieces of equipment in. And to go back to your original question, the $195,000 is the Innovation Partnership Fund. That's the money that comes from MVP Healthcare through the contract agreement for the naming rights of the arena.
So is all of that being spent at this facility, at this site?
Correct,
Or is
yeah.
that a fund that is used for other?
So that the 195 is all coming from the Innovation Partnership Fund, and then there's going to be site work that's going to be required, but this is a separate.
But the 195 you're saying is all going to be spent on the Bern site?
Correct.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Please, sir.
So that money is going to be spent, and in addition, the county, excuse me, I'm sorry. In addition, I thought I read somewhere that the county is going to prepare the pad site.
Yeah.
So is that at our own cost? So
That's correct.
that's like an in-kind contribution we're making in addition
Yep.
to
Yep.
195?
Yeah,
Is that
so-
a lot of money for like a concrete pad? I mean, what is it? How big is it?
The 195 is for the actual fitness court, the workout equipment, the install, all of that. There's also artwork that comes with it. So it's custom sort of artwork. So that's the 195, and it's a much smaller number for the site work, concrete pad.
So that's an additional cost. That's our cost.
Yeah, correct. So that could range anywhere between, I don't want to, we're acquiring quotes right now, so I don't want to say the amount. For the much larger version at Towasenta Park, which is double the size of this one that we're considering right now, the site work and the concrete pad was 91,000. So it'd be significantly less than that. Probably, I would like to assume less than 45,000.
Are there any discussions to have one of these constructed at the crossings in Colony or the Colony Park? Anything in Colony like this happening?
There had been some discussions about it. I'm not sure if there's any definite plans, but we were exploring the possibility of something in the town of Colony.
You need to have a kind of a buy-in by the local jurisdiction, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Did you have one more question, legislator?
Yeah.
So how do you get one of these? You apply, or you have a certain amount from this fund allocated to each town and they can spend it on sort of whatever they need or want? How does that work?
If there's a municipality that is interested in getting one of these, I would suggest that they reach out to our office, county executive's office.
Have most of the towns reached out, or have you yourself, your agency, have you written a letter to the towns to tell them that this is something that's an option or something that might be available to them?
Yeah, we've engaged with specific municipalities, municipal leaders, and they've been more or less receptive, depending on who they are. We typically, when we went to the town of Bern and the town of Gilligan, they were pretty excited to have one of these. So it all depends. It really is a mutual agreement. Also, it's typical that the municipality agrees to incur the cost of maintenance. So that's a part of it, right?
Yeah.
And then, just to add to that, Mr. Sagan, it's my understanding that the town of Bern doesn't have the technical capabilities, and that's why the county's getting involved with.
Yeah, something like this. I mean, the fitness court itself is a bit complicated,
Right.
and so the National Fitness Campaign is the one that installs it, and that's why it's a little bit pricier. But yeah, even the site work for the drainage and such, and then the concrete pad is a little bit more of a skill. But when it comes to general maintenance, most municipalities can handle that, yeah.
You know how I personally feel about recreation. I think it's very important for the youth and by the way, for the elderly and all facets of the population. So I think
Absolutely.
it's very important. So, do any of the legislators have any other questions on this item? Someone like to make a motion on it? Mr. Mayor makes a motion. Do I have a second? I'll second. Second. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
And that's it. That concludes our meeting for this evening. Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn? Roberto, second. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. You can go to your softball. Unfortunately.